Boy, you had me from the start. By the way you stared, the way you wrote up on me, yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to be.
Hey guys, Monique the Stylist here, or also known as Summer Monique, and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can never miss a video from me. And for those returning stylistas, hey fam, hey friends, how y'all doing? It's been a minute since I had an actual sit down video, and I just want to show y'all this shirt. This says Sassy Since Birth. I got it from Shein. So yeah, you guys, so today's video we are gonna talk about my nationality. I know this is probably something very old on YouTube, but I just want you guys to kind of understand because it's still fresh for me. So I wanted to share it with you babies. So, you know, throughout the years as I was growing up, I knew that I had like Indian and some German, French, and you know, because that's what I was told. And you know, I used to always tell people, hey you guys, you know, my dad is white. He's not black. And everybody would be like, girl, your daddy ain't white. Look at how you look how you act sometimes. But then I noticed throughout life that I used to get hounded for stuff like some of the things that I thought was funny that my actual black friends didn't think was funny, things like that. So I'm doing this video because it's real fresh to me. My dad has never talked about his race because it was never brought into question what our race was. I always knew what my mother's side of the family was, and I knew that we were Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian. And so I knew that we were Cherokee and Blackfoot Indian and German, because my grandfather, which is my mother's father, is German and Blackfoot Indian, and then my grandmother was Cherokee Indian. As far as my father's side, I really didn't know a lot. My father was in my life when I was younger. I mean, he's always been a part of my life. But as far as like really knowing my father's side of the family, I do not really know. I just recently started finding out about a lot of things. You know, as far as, you know, what my grandmother and some of my great aunts did, things like that he has shared with me. So probably about 2 weeks ago, I texted my dad and I said, what are we? What are we mixed with? What is our heritage? And he texted me back and simply said, Indian and white. So he does not know what tribe of Indian we are, but his dad, my grandfather on my father's side, was a white Frenchman, and my grandmother was Indian and white. So I am definitely over 60% Native American, and I'm white. Pause for reaction on that. Now some people will say, well, how is your melanin? You look like a black girl. You pretty much kind of act like, well, you know, this is stereotypical stuff. You kind of act like a black girl, but I've always been told that I don't act like a black girl. And so now, honey, it makes sense after all these years why people say I don't act black, which I think that's such an ignorant term. I think it's ignorant. But it just goes to show that people are ignorant and people are racist whether they know it or not. Um, I've even been guilty of that. I've always identified myself as um, well, for years I identified myself as a black woman, but then I started putting on my applications that I was two or more races because I was like, something in this Kool-Aid is not adding up. I do not relate to a lot of things. People do not relate to a lot of things that I relate to. And I was trying to understand why. So now it all makes sense. Because if I do have any American black ancestry in me, we cannot trace it back in our lineage. And I know my dad was like, his side of the family, a lot of people are from Tennessee and Alabama. I do know that we're related to some people with the last name of White, Whitfield, and Osborne. So there's that. So this is like all fresh to me. Like I always used to say it and people be like, oh, black people always say that they have Indian in them. But to be honest, when it comes to race, we are all mixed up. Like I know very few people that actually can claim themselves as African American because they actually have a parent that is African American, or if they weren't born here in the States, they were naturalized and became a citizen. And so, this is newfound information, but it makes a lot of sense for how my dad would kind of raise me and teach me on some things that I guess some things I didn't take heed to, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so it's kind of fresh to me. But it makes a lot of sense of some questions that have been lingering for years. And so it makes sense now. So, to sum it up, my nationality is Native American, over 60%, German, European, and French, white European, or French Caucasian European. I know throughout the years a lot of people would tell me that I had a very exotic look about me, but I would just play it off like, oh, whatever. I even, one time when I lived in Georgia, I had to take a cab home from the grocery store, and the driver was like, he said, I don't mean to offend you, but what are you? And I was like, I'm black, because that's what I thought. And he was like, nah. He said, looking at your cheekbone structure, looking at your exotic features, you're definitely Native American. And he started kind of having a conversation with me, telling me how he has studied all of this. He could look at my features and tell. And I was like really confused, because I was like, oh, thinking in the back of my head, if I'm Indian, I probably ain't that much Indian, because most people be like, oh, you black and you ain't got that much Indian in you. But no, baby, I am full blown over 60% Native American, along with the other things that I'm mixed with. So I'm still learning about this information. My aunt, who is getting ready to be 79, she knows a lot about our family history, and she was like, girl, you just now realizing that you're not black, that we ain't black. We might have melanin, but we're not black. And I'm like, I am so shocked and appalled by this. like, I'm really shocked. Like, my dad has never admitted to me that he was mixed. Not ever. It has not ever come into question. I just figured because my mother's very red and like olive skin tone, I'm just thinking her melanin took over, you know. But I did always couldn't understand why my dad would not tan and how I would burn so easily if I don't wear sunscreen and be in the sun and stuff. I never understood that. But that just shows you how melanin works. And the crazy thing is that, you know, I'm trying to learn more about my dad's side of the family because I grew up to where my dad really didn't talk about his side of the family. I really never met anybody on his side but my sister that he has by another woman. She's older than me. And, you know, it's just so weird to be finding this information out. But I'm glad I'm finding out these things because who would have ever thought? I didn't ever think. I thought because of my melanin, you know, and how people automatically, like on my driver's license and everything else, it's been African American. And let me just touch on that for a minute. Unless you actually have a parent who is African or you've been naturalized and have something from Africa actually stating that you're from Africa and you're now a U.S. citizen, you're not really African American. You are just a black American. So sorry to break that to you guys. Not trying to start an argument here because this is a safe space. But I just wanted to drop that on you. And to be honest, a lot of us here in America and a lot of other places are mixed up. If you don't do the digging, you will not figure out what you're actually mixed with. And it's so funny to me that because people have melanin to them, that they automatically assume that they are labeled as black, and that's not true. I have seen many people, Hispanics and everything else, that have darker skin tones and everything, and different exotic features, and they're not 100% purely that race. Honestly, I don't think that there is a pure race, and I wish people would quit talking about it like it is. And I just think we should all respect each other. Okay, I just got rudely interrupted, but yeah, you guys, so I wanted to hop on here real quick and share with you guys this newfound information. And yeah, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to my returning subbies. I love you so much, and thank you all, babies, for stopping by. I hope that you guys like the fact that I'm coming back with these talking videos, because there's more to come. And I will see you, babies, later.